remember the stories they told us about the beginning. It was sometime after the first COVID, the one in 2019. They had been able to spin up vaccines so quickly. People raised alarms, but the whole thing ended up being Pandora's box. It was only a matter of time, a moment of carelessness, shattering of glass, a mist in the air. That's all it took to bring our world to its knees. At first, no one knew what was happening. People started getting sick, but it seemed like nothing more than a bad flu. The scientists tried to contain it, but it was too late. The virus had already escaped. The world as they knew it had ceased to exist. I can still picture the fear in the elders' eyes as they described those early days. The confusion, the denial, the shockingly short amount of time it took for everything to descend into anarchy and chaos. It spread so fast. I close my eyes and I can still see that map they showed us. Red dots multiplying across continents like a time-lapse of mold devouring fruit. It concentrated where people gather, and those places lit up first. People coughing on subways, flight attendants collapsing mid-flight, and teachers with sudden nosebleeds. Hospitals were overwhelmed. The government tried to maintain order, but panic was setting in. People rushed to stores. The military was called in, but they couldn't stop what was coming. I could so vividly imagine the piles and piles of bodies in the mass graves as they spoke of how quickly hope turned to despair. But the true horror, they said, came after. When the dead rose, it started small. A jogger was attacked by something lurking behind a fence. A homeless woman was killed. But soon, it was everywhere. The first reports were met with disbelief. The undead were supposed to be fiction, not reality. Families barricaded themselves in their homes, and survivors battled them in grocery stores. Even now, I shudder thinking about the story of the news anchor transforming on live television. The world watched in horror as the impossible became real. The dead were walking, and they were hungry. The military tried to hold them back, but it was futile. The hordes overwhelmed checkpoints, cities burned, and the sky filled with the light of explosions and the screams of the dying. Economies crumbled, governments fell. The civilized world as we knew it ceased to exist. The elders never spoke of this time without tears in their eyes. The loss, the fear, the hopelessness. It seemed like the end of everything. But life, they told us, always finds a way. Small groups of survivors banded together. They learned to fortify, to defend. Every day was a battle, but slowly they began to adapt. The elders spoke of the ingenuity born of desperation, of weapons fashioned from everyday items, of silent communication systems developed to evade the undead's keen hearing. They told us of the first time they successfully defended against a large horde, how that victory, small as it was, rekindled the flame of hope. From those small groups, larger communities grew. They cleared the landscape and built walls. In the ruins of the old world, they planted crops in abandoned parks. Children were taught in converted buses, and guarded marketplaces sprung up where people could trade. Our elders spoke with pride of those early days, of the challenges they faced, the ingenuity they showed, and how they built this community from nothing but determination and hope. They created new laws, new social structures. They adapted to a world where the dead walked and they thrived. Now, as I look out over our walled city at sunset, I can't help but marvel at what they accomplished. We're safe here, protected, and even thriving. We have schools, markets, and a government. We farm, we trade, we create. Life goes on, different from before, but still full of joy and sorrow, love and loss. The elders ensured that we never forgot the past, but also taught us to look to the future. To keep building, keep improving, keep hoping. Sometimes when I'm on watch duty, I gaze out at the ruined city beyond our walls. I listen to the distant moans carried on the wind, and I wonder, are we really as safe as we think? Is this really all that's left of humanity? Or is there something more out there waiting to be discovered? The elder stories always end with hope, but as I grow older, I can't shake the feeling that this isn't the end of our tale. What lies beyond our walls? What secrets does the ruined world hold? And are we ready to face them? As I stand here looking out at the world our elders rebuilt from ashes, I know one thing for certain. Our story is far from over.